Welcome to Fluid Machines, Mechanics and Machinery Lab. So, this is a very important lab for mechanical engineers as well as civil engineers. Materials are of two types, whether it is solid or a fluid. And in fluids, we have got two types, that is gaseous or liquids. And liquids we consider mostly as incompressible liquids. And we deal mainly with water. And this laboratory, what we are seeing here, we are only discussing about water. There are various experiments, like this is a first experiment what we are dealing. This deals with a V notch. You can see this V notch. It deals with V notch. And second, it can also deal with a rectangle notch. So we shall remove this V notch and instead we will fix the rectangle notch. So this, what is the aim of this experiment basically? The aim of this experiment is to find the coefficient of discharge. So now you may ask, what is coefficient of discharge? So when the water is flowing, these are used for flow measurement devices. I can give one simple example, like in an open small channel or in a field in a channel, or when you dig a new borewell. When you dig a new borewell, then they say that pani 3 inch gir gaya, 2 inch gira pani. How you measure that pani 2 inch gira, 3 inch gira? So there they use this kind of, they store the water, and when the water is flowing, then they will put this V notch, and whatever is the rise, that they will see that the output of the borewell is 3 inches of water. This is in crude parlance. Okay, this is one practical and real life example what I have seen about this notches. Second thing, in this experiment what we are doing, we are trying to calibrate the notches and we are going to find out the CD, coefficient of discharge. So we can calculate the discharge. We know the dimensions of this notches, both rectangular notch and V notch, and we know the initial head. See, now this water is flowing, so this is a pointer and this is a what you call vernier head gauge. So I will take the initial head and then I will take the final head. Okay, and based on this I will get the head of the water. I can calculate the flow of water theoretically. Okay, and secondly I will calculate the water. I will measure the water flow physically. This is a tank with a known dimension. So this is a length, width, and this is a height. So say for 10 centimeter rise in the height of water, what is the time taken? I will use a stopwatch and I will find out the actual time taken to fill 10 centimeters of this tank. So coefficient of discharge is nothing but actual discharge divided by theoretical discharge. So the actual discharge divided by theoretical discharge, you may get a value which will always be less than 1. And you may get a value of 0.6, 0.7, something like that. Okay, but always less than 1. So let me explain this apparatus too. Very simple apparatus. You can see this is a channel in which the water will be flowing. So you have got this is the water tank. What you are saying, only one common tank you can see. This is a water tank. So I will take this water and you have got a pump. You see the water, it is connected to a pump. Okay. And this pump outlet, you have got a valve here. You have got a valve. So this valve, what I will do, for different flow rates, say I will open it, so 25% of the valve, 50%, 75%, that is 3/4, and 100%, total valve is open. So for this I will get 4 different flow rates. Okay, then the water comes here and it comes into this channel. Okay, and from this channel, the water is flowing. And we will take the initial head. This pointer is fixed. Whatever this pointer is there, initially I will fix the pointer and I will bring it to 0 on the micrometer. Then when the flow is there, then I will only, pointer is fixed, only I will move the main scale and vernier scale. So I will find out the head, okay, of flow of water. So this is the on and off button. This is the only thing which is variable, that is flow rate, what we do. And water flows, you can see the water flow rate through this, and ultimately the water will flow through this V notch. We know the dimensions of this V notch also. we know the dimensions of this V notch also. And this is the tank where, so first initially I will close because I want to measure. No? When I want to measure, I will close this. So I will see that water is filling in this. Okay, and then later on I will discharge into the tank. So we have got only one tank. I take the water from this tank, pump it, it comes to the channel, goes to the measuring tank and again to the reservoir tank. So this is how we do. This is a very simple apparatus, and this same apparatus is used for V notch as well as rectangular notch. So these two notches you will be studying, and the only idea is to find out the coefficient of discharge, and the coefficient of discharge is nothing but actual discharge by theoretical discharge. Theoretical discharge we calculate using the formula, and actual discharge we measure the time. Here the only variable is the time. Based on the time we will calculate the actual discharge, because we know the volume of this receiving tank. Okay, so this is the first and a simple experiment where we dealt with V notch as well as rectangular notch. What we do, how it operates is, we have filled the water with the tank. We start the pump. We bring it to 25%. First I will start with 25% of the water. Then the water comes here, it flows on the channel. I will take the head of the water. Then I will close this and allow the water to flow here. So I will measure, suppose I am measuring from 10 centimeters. So I will see from 10 to 20 centimeters, whatever is there, what is the time taken in seconds to fill this tank. Okay, that will be reading number 1. Then I will again increase the flow rate from 25% to say 50%. Again the water level will rise. Again I will move this, I will see the head. And then again I will see the flow of water in this tank. Okay, for 10 centimeter rise. Similarly for 75%, also again I will open the valve. Again the head will increase. I will move the head, check the head. And then lastly I will find out the flow rate through the measuring tank. And lastly for full valve opening, whatever is the head and whatever is the time. So as you open up the valve, you will find that time required to fill the tank will be reduced. The time will be reduced and the head is increased. So we will plot the graph, characteristics curve of this notch. Okay, thank you. And this is a valve. And you can see, so this pointer, now what I will do, this pointer, I will take it to stop. This becomes the final head. Initial head was there, now this is the final head. So I don't change the contact. So this is the flow thing now. Now water is flowing directly. I will close it. Now I will see that once I close, water is not flowing. Water is only flowing in this measuring tank. So now I will close it. See the rise. Now you can see the rise. You can see the rise here very clearly, very clear. You can see along with my finger it is going slowly. So I can take a reading, say from 20 to 30. Now this is 20. Okay, from 20 to 30, whatever is the time, up to here, water is flowing. Whatever is the time required, I will take a stopwatch and then I will open. So water is flowing. We will take up the second experiment, what is available here. And you can read, this is Venturi meter, orifice meter and flow through nozzle. So you can see this is a Venturi meter. You can see the inlet, throat and the outlet, converging throat and the diverging section. This is a Venturi meter. Then you have got this orifice meter, you can see this orifice meter, and then this is the nozzle. Okay, so there are 3 setups. And you can see for all the 3 setups, whether it is Venturi meter or orifice meter or nozzle, you can see there are inlet pipes, and for inlet as well as throat, you have got these connections which are connected to the manometer. manometer. Here also we are trying to find out the coefficient of discharge, CD, and as usual the CD should be less than 1. Somewhere around 0.6, 0.7 you will get the coefficient of discharge. This apparatus is also very simple. You have got a main tank here. This is the main tank, okay, and you have got a pump here, electrical operated pump here. So the tank will take the suction from the pump, and if this is the outlet of the pump, and here you have got a valve. So again what we do here, this valve also I will operate it because I need to plot a graph. Say I need 4-5 points. So I will plot for 25%, 50%, 75% and 100% of the flow rate, and I will vary the flow rate using the valve. Okay, and this is the inlet. So there are three things in this apparatus. All the three things are combined. So what I will do when I am measuring, suppose I start with venturimeter, then only this venturimeter valve is open. You can see if this valve is inline, means this valve is open. If this valve is horizontal, means this is closed. So when I am using venturimeter, I will open this valve only, and these two valves will be in a horizontal direction and they will be closed. Okay, so the water will flow from this to the venturimeter. In venturimeter you have got the converging section, then you have got the throat, then you have got the diverging section. To measure the pressure drop, you have got the two connections which are connected to the mercury in glass manometer. You can see mercury manometer here. So you can get the pressure difference. Okay, and then the output, whatever you get, here also you have got a measuring tank. The measuring tank dimensions are fixed, length, breadth, and here also again I am going to measure the time. That I am going to measure using a stopwatch. I am going to measure time for 10 centimeter rise in the water level. Okay, and when I don't want, I can open the valve so that this water goes to the main tank. When I am measuring, this valve will be closed so that water will start filling up in this tank. So the specifications are given here. For venturimeter and orifice meter, the diameter at the inlet is 1 inch, that is 25 mm, and for diameter at the throat is half inch, that is 12.5 mm. And even the nozzle also, the diameter at the inlet is 25 mm and the diameter at the throat is 12.5 mm. This is almost like 1 inch inlet, throat is half inch. Quite close. 1 inch is 25.4 mm. Here it is 25 mm. Very close to that. Okay. So you have got again a starter here for the pump, and this is the flow rate. So the only thing what you are varying here is the flow rate what you are varying, and then you are going to measure the time required to fill 10 cc of the 10 centimeter rise in this tank. So this way we are going to first start with venturimeter. We will measure this venturimeter. We will take the readings of venturimeter. Then we will close this venturimeter. Next we will start the orifice meter, and when I am starting orifice meter, I will close these two valves and operate only this orifice meter. Again I will take the measurement of the head through this U2 manometer, as well as we will measure the time required for 10 centimeter rise in this level of the measuring tank. So this way we are going to measure the actual discharge by these three things: venturimeter, orifice meter, as well as nozzle meter. And after that we will calculate the theoretical discharge using the formulae, and then the coefficient of discharge is simple, nothing but the theoretical discharge, actual discharge is the ratio of the actual discharge to the theoretical discharge. So this is how we are going to calibrate the venturimeter, orifice meter, as well as nozzle meter for flow measurements. Thank you. So now we are started with venturimeter. Venturimeter is on. So water is flowing like this. Flowing to the venturimeter. Outlet is flowing. So you can see here that it is closed. Valve is not coming. So this is for closing. You can see the water tank. This is a calibrated tank where you find the water flow. Okay. And this is the difference in pressure. You can see. Another one will be the 30, another will be the 90. So this is the head. Okay. Now we shall look at the third experiment in fluid mechanical machinery lab that is having a code of 18 MEL 57. This deals with the major and minor losses. So what are major and minor losses? You might have seen in irrigation or even for your drinking water, water is pumped from long distances, hundreds of kilometers water is flowing. Okay, and there are different types of pipes. You may have like a GI pipe or a PVC pipe, or earlier you had cement pipes also. So different types of pipes are there which are used to convey the water from one place to another place. So this major losses means when the water is flowing from a long distance through this GI pipe, because the GI pipe has got an internal surface is slightly rough, so it will have more of friction. Whereas to reduce that friction, now we have come up with plastic pipes. PVC pipes have better surface finish inside, so the friction is less and the friction losses are less, and thus the pumping losses are also less. Okay, ultimately we are spending energy to pump the water. So to conserve energy, we should have a pipe which offers the least resistance. One more thing is that this water flow, this depends on the type of flow. The flow can be a laminar flow, the flow can be turbulent flow also. Laminar flow means if the Reynolds number is less than 2000 to 2100, we call it as Reynolds number. But if the Reynolds number is more than 2000 and less than 4000, we call that as a turbulent flow. So this experiment, where major losses we are discussing only the flow through the pipes, which where you know the length of the pipe and the diameter of the pipe. Say these two are, first one is GI pipe, that is galvanized iron. You can see this is galvanized, zinc coated. Galvanized iron pipe of 1 inch diameter. Second is PVC pipe of 1 inch diameter, and the third one is galvanized pipe of half inch diameter. So these three pipes we are seeing the major losses. And now coming to the minor losses. So what are the minor losses? You can come and see here. Lot of in real life, when you see the pipes, now you can see the water. This is flowing inside. So here immediately there is a contraction. There is sudden contraction. So 1 inch to half inch. So here when there is a contraction from 1 inch to half inch, there is a loss of power. Okay, there is friction here. So this loss is known as minor loss. This long pipe, this is major loss. This is reduction. Sudden reduction is minor loss. Now here again you see sudden enlargement is there, half inch to 1 inch. So this is also component of minor loss. Then you can solve. This is called a union. This is called a union where you connect the pipes, and this you find it wherever you use the meter, water meters and all are used. No? You will find this union so that you can open and remove for maintenance. Okay, even when you are fitting pump, when you are fixing pumps also you require this kind of union. So here also for union there is a loss in the friction, and this also constitutes a minor loss. Okay, and here you can see there is a coupler. Coupler means straight 1 inch to 1 inch only are connecting, but you are using a coupler. This component is known as the coupler. So this coupler also there is some loss, and you can see here this is elbow. 90 degrees you can see bend. This is 90 degrees. So normally at high pressure side you don't want this 90 degrees elbow to be used because there is a lot of friction. So and instead of that you can see this bend. You can see this bend. This is a long bend. Okay, this offers less resistance. So this the friction will be less in this bend. So instead of elbow you should use bend. So you can see these are all the equipments which causes the minor losses, whether sudden contraction, sudden expansion, union, collar, elbow or bend. So we will be studying this, and see for all of this you can see there are two connections here, and both the connections are connected to a digital manometer. Here the manometer, earlier we have seen mercury in glass manometer. Here is a digital manometer. The initial reading is taken as 0. The final reading, whatever you get, is the final reading. So this is the manometer reading. This experiment we have the digital manometer, and again like you have the main tank. You can see the main tank, and this is a pump, and the main tank is connected to the pump. And when you start the pump, the flow, to vary the flow, you have got the valve. And here also, when I am doing one experiment, suppose this 1 inch GI pipe, I will close all the other 4 lines. Only this line will be open. Water comes through that line and goes through that line. And when it is falling, there is a receiving tank. There I will measure the time taken for 10 cc rise in the water. So that is to measure the actual flow. Theoretical I can calculate using the formula, and then this is how you find out the coefficient of discharge. Okay. The only thing here is you can find here we have got a digital manometer which gives the digital recording readings of the head. Okay. And these long pipes, I think there are 2 meter length pipes there. These 3 pipes are major losses, used for major losses, and this whatever these 2 lines are there, these are meant for the minor losses. I think we will start one by one. For 1 minute you can start and show. So close all those. First only you start. Now you can see we are starting the first experiment. Water. This is the main tank. Water is coming from the main tank. So pump. This is a valve. Water comes here. This is only valve is open. You can see this is inline. Rest is all horizontal. So this is inline open. Water comes here. Close to the pipe. Comes to the tank. Here I will measure the. Now I will close. Then I want to. When I want to measure, now you can see there is a rise in water. You can see the rise in water here. Slowly it is rising. You can see the slowly near my finger. Gradually it is rising. So suppose from 10 to 20 I will measure. Now the water is rising. So I will take the time required from 10 to 20. Okay, come to 20. I will stop. Stop the clip now. Okay. This you can see. This is the digital readout of the pressure. And here the specifications are given. Like the line 1 is for 1 inch GI pipe. Line 2 is 1 inch PVC pipe. Line 3 is half inch GI pipe. And for minor losses, you have got sudden contraction. Inlet is 1 inch. Outlet is half inch. Sudden expansion again half inch to 1 inch. You have got 1 inch union. 1 inch collar, and you have got line 5 में long and short bends. Short bend we call it as elbow. Okay. So this is how you measure the actual discharge and you calculate the theoretical discharge so that you find the coefficient of discharge. Okay, and thus you can measure the, again you can measure for different flow rates. The only thing variable is the flow rate which is varying here, and the only measurement what we are taking is the time taken for 10 centimeter rise in the water. These are the 2 readings, and this digital pressure reading is available in this gauge. Okay, this was about the major and minor losses setup. Thank you. Now we shall look at the 4th experiment. We are dealing with the impact of jet on vanes. Impact of the jet on the vanes. Now you may ask, where is the jet and why it has to impact the vanes? So, and where it is applied. So for that sake, I would like to bring you to this turbine. Now you can see water will be coming in the form of jet here, and this is nozzle jet, and it is impinging on the buckets. So the buckets are in the form of curved. You can see two curved hemispherical buckets are there. Okay. Similarly, you have got turbines here. This is a process turbine and Kaplan turbine. They also have the runner and blades. So basically, the jet is hitting, and this is more used in like your Pelton wheel, where there is an impact. So in reaction turbine there is no impact, but in Pelton wheel it is a impact turbine. So you can see this is a curved. You can see the acrylic one. This is a curved one. Okay. So this is a curved vane. This is simple rectangular vane. This is just rectangular. And you can see this is an inclined vein. You can see this is an inclined vein. What we do, this is the load sensor. We will fix it here. You can see here. This has got a threading. I am going to fix it. I am threading it like this here. And then this is a window. I will close this window using the this arrangement. So this is closed. And this is a load sensor. This is a jet. You can see at the bottom you have got a jet. That 5 mm jet we have used. You start the circuit. Here you have got a tank. You can see the tank here. And you have got a pump. The water is coming. Again here you have got a rotameter. This rotameter I will change the for 3-4 settings. Say 25. I can say for 3. I can set it at 3. I can set it 5. I can set it 7.5. I can set it 10. And I will take 3-4 readings so that I am able to plot a graph. Okay, and whatever the jet, this water jet is coming and hitting this vein, then the directly pressure is shown here. So initially we bring it to 0. And whatever impact is there, it is directly shown on the digital meter is there, which will show the readings here. Okay, for 1 minute I think we will start this. We will start the. That is impacted there. You can see and you are getting the direct reading. And the water flow rate also you can see now. The water flow rate has come up to here. You can change the water flow rate. You can change the water flow rate. This is a rotameter. Direct reading you will get. So first I will use this one. Next I can use this. And third I will use. So there are 3 ways: flat vein, inclined vein, and hemispherical vein. And I have got jets up to 4 mm, 5 mm, and 6 mm. So I can change the different jets. I can change the different veins, and I will get the direct reading here. Right? This is how you will get the direct reading. And it is observed that the highest impact is on the curved. That is why this curved section is used for the manufacturing of belt and wheel buckets, what we are seeing. Okay, so this is about the experiment. Again I will tell, this is the jet here inside. We can change the jet to 4, 5, 6, 3 different jets are got. This is the these are the vanes what I put here. One of them. This is the load sensor. This is electrical connected, and this is the digital indicator what I get here. To measure the flow, this is the rotameter. To vary the flow, this is the valve. This is the on-off switch. This is not there in the equipment. So this was about the impact of jet on the vanes. Okay, thank you.